And welcome back. Time for this week's Capitol Report with Pat McGuigan at CapitolBeatOK.com. Pat, the U.S. Supreme Court decided not to decide on the fate of Dreamers, holding off for now on a definitive ruling on the Trump administration's push for a legislative resolution of this important immigrant question. So what happens now?
Well, it's not really clear what happens now. You know, the controversy actually began many years ago when President Obama made a controversial decision to grant a lot of protection to these young people without benefit of passing legislation, and it's the kind of thing that probably should have required legislation. So there's questions about the original executive order. After talking so negatively about immigrants during the 2016 campaign, President Trump seemed to soften quite a bit, and at first was saying, you know, all the people generally categorized as dreamers, he wanted to try to find a way for them to have legal status, and eventually that number expanded to 1.8 million. But we both know, you know, what's transpired since then. It's gotten locked up in his insistence of, in the same sentence, the same paragraph, talking about the Mexican murderous Mexican drug gangs. His idea of the border wall, which remains very controversial and unaffordable. So little progress has been made. James Langford has had a good idea. It's tough. It's a tough way to citizenship or at least legal status, but I kind of liked it as a solution, a compromise to this difficult question. It's another issue on which the nation is so deeply divided, with people like me in the middle, not to mention the young people now, you know, some of them moving into middle age, who were brought here without legal status. At the moment, I'm pessimistic. However, the decision not to decide buys more time for people that are trying to work on the issue in Congress. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, right now at the legislature, it appears that efforts to expand school choice have hit a brick wall. Pat, this is something you follow closely. What's up?
Yeah, Senator A.J. Griffin had a good idea, which would have provided additional access to school choice options for children that are deemed mentally ill, and as significantly, homeless children. It would have expanded on things like the model of Positive Tomorrows, which I actually visited there some when it was a public school, and have remained very supportive of it now that it's a private school. Senator Griffin's proposal failed with 7 Republicans opposing it, despite her support. The irony being that the new state senator from Tulsa, Democratic Allison Eichley Freeman, who can't be considered a conservative, was supportive of it. 7 negative votes from Republicans is enough to make a granite column weep.
All right, we only have a couple seconds here, but there's a day devoted to free speech coming up at UCO. You've done some reporting on this. What should we expect?
Yeah, I expect tension, but I hope for the best. It was an amazing decision to deny after a contract had been signed, and that's the reason they then reversed themselves. So he was a speaker, then he wasn't a speaker, now he's a speaker again. So it'll be a day devoted to free speech. I hope it goes well. The whole underlying tension that led to him being uninvited is very worrisome to those of us that are on the more conservative end in terms of traditional morality.
All right, well, you can read more about these and other topics at CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Alex Cameron. Have a great day.